think I'm live. Welcome to Jank Play TCG. My name is Landon, and here we play Jank, and today, I did the troll thing backwards, weird. Today is my weekly live stream, and we are going to be discussing the Pauper and, yeah, probably shouldn't have that there. The Pauper and the standard format meta. We're going to mostly be viewing it on Limitless TCG, where they track, the standard stuff. Pauper is really just going to be more about what we've seen through tournaments and everything. So, hopefully there are people here. If you are here, go ahead and say hi. Yeah, so I know you're here. Terrence saying, you playing meta, I don't believe it. Well, you gotta understand the meta to beat the meta. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Is the current meta healthy? Let's see, let's get that poll going. Was this from today, or was this like from my last live stream? I don't know. So we got one vote on is the current meta healthy, and it is a resounding no. 2 votes, and it's 50-50. Heck yeah, you guys should definitely be voting in that poll, and we can discuss it here. So on screen, let's see, how can I make it just, there we go. That's a little bit better, not great, but let me get these to like the edge a bit. Right here we can see the top 6 decks in the current standard format meta here on Limitless. We've got Dragapult at number 1, so that's not at all unbelievable, right? Dragapult, I think, totally makes sense. With its ability to spread damage to the bench, with its ability to hit really good numbers, with the fact that it is itself a Terra Pokemon, and with the help of Dracloak. I think Dracloak is one of the main areas where Dragapult has an advantage. Kind of pre-rotation, Gardevoir had this as well with the refinement, but yeah, I don't know. Dragapult just seems like a good all-arounder, which actually makes me kind of surprised it is in it is seeing so many wins, but I guess that's why it's seeing so many wins, you know? It's a good all-arounder. It does what it does very successfully, but there's not a lot of space to maneuver in the Dragapult list that I have seen. I know it's also been one of the most played decks out there, meaning it has so many top results because so many people are playing it, and then it gets more top results and more people are playing it, right? I'm surprised Dragapult hasn't seen a downward trend since Lily's Clefairy came out, but that's where Gardevoir being at number 2 really comes in, because everyone seems to be playing Lily's Clefairy as a one-up just to get that weakness, right? OMZ fan said hi. Hello. Welcome to the Jank side of things. I do think Monkey Dory is kind of another issue in the format. Mostly I think Monkey Dory isn't exactly healthy for the format, but OMZ fan, I subscribed and will be watching every day, all videos too. Thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate it, you know? That's awesome. I think, yeah, I need to make this a little bit smaller so it'll fit on screen here. So give me a second. There we go. Yep, we are tracking our subscribers right there. I really want to get to 1,000 before my birthday. I don't know if that's possible. My birthday's in September. We got a long way to go to get there. It's been a long way to get here to 900, but we finally crossed that mark. So we're working towards 1,000. And thank you so much, OMZ fan, for adding another person to that. Really appreciate it. You believe in me? Thank you. And I believe in your belief in me. How about that? How about that? So Gardevoir as the number 2 deck, even though they've got a surefire counter to Dragapult, is definitely interesting. Let's see its recent results. We got 8th, 12th, 18th. This is all in Milwaukee. So yeah, that's a lot of placements. That's a lot of placements, kind of similar to Dragapult here, where in Milwaukee, what got first in Milwaukee? I actually kind of, OMZ fan, sorry, I gotta go. My dog is crying outside. No worries, dude. Take care of your pets. That's super important. We got Sophie here with us today. She's just curled up in her bed like usual. So, did Terrabox win? What won first at Milwaukee? I kind of missed that. Pokemon TCG Milwaukee. Top 8. Will they tell us? Pokestats. Number 1 was Raging Bolt? What the heck? That's crazy. Raging Bolt's currently number... Oh, Gardevoir's number 3. I'm sorry. I thought it was number 2. I thought it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Gardevoir's number 3 with Goldango. Goldango is a decent attacker. I really like Goldango. I put out a video saying, could Goldango be one of the best decks in the format post-rotation? And it looks like I'm probably right. You know, it can hit big numbers. It's one of the few things that can, like, one-shot Dragapult, right? Gardevoir needs Lilies, Clefairy out in order to do that. It gets, you know, a little bit, you know, bench space issues, because Gardevoir just has so much that it wants to do. Where Goldango is a very straightforward deck, I think. Yeah, people are playing the Energy Search Pro version. Yep. That's what I thought too. But we gotta go all the way to the 4th. Up. Come on. The 4th best deck to see the first place regional Milwaukee winner. Hey, congratulations, Christian LaBelle. So, positive pokes. You didn't give up. I didn't give up what? Little engine that could. Are we talking about Goldango, or are we talking about something else? Or are we just talking about how surprising Raging Bolt is? Because Raging Bolt's another one that can one-shot Dragapult. Has a slightly easier way to do it. Just needs to discard 5 energy, where... but it has to be out on the field. Where Goldango can discard from the hand, but it has to discard 7 energy to get there, which is a lot to have in hand. So let's go ahead and check out Christian LaBella's list here. $70, not bad. We got Ditto, interesting. Squawkabilly makes sense. Latias makes sense. Mew makes sense. Wow. I remember hearing about Slitherwing too being like kind of important. Why is Slitherwing so important? To do 120 to something weak to fighting. Which would be what exactly? I don't know. Joe's. There's no E up there. Hey man, hello. Welcome. Positive Pokes. Yesterday, stream losing streak. Yeah, I finally won once. Weakness Pikachu EXBS with Miraidon. I mean, is that even a deck to watch out for? It's not even on the top 6. It's less than 6% of the play field, it seems like. I don't know, Slitherwing just seems like such an interesting choice, because with Pikachu, right? Pikachu EX, Slitherwing is for Fez and Mimikyu. That makes more sense. That makes more sense, Terrence. Thank you. Positive Pokes, I don't know, but it saves you energy, just a one of. Yeah. Yeah, as they've got so many one-ofs in this list, you know, which is impressive. Fan Rotom, is Fan Rotom just to get Ditto and be a decent one? Or, well, I guess the Hoot Hoot Knockdown right above it. I need to keep, reading upwards. Hoot Hoot Knockdown, because Teal Mask Ogerpon is Terra, they can totally take advantage of that. Teal Mask is definitely important to this strategy. We need something that's like a ability blocker, Like, we haven't had one of those for a while. Yeah, what was the last ability blocker? For the walls, too, yeah. Yeah, Positive Pokes. That's where Terrence mentioned Mimikyu. Yeah, for the walls, you can get around the immune to EX Pokemon things. Slowpoke Fan Rotom gets Owls, Ditto, and attacking for 70 energy, for 70 damage is pretty good. Yeah, it's not a bad attacker, just interesting lineup here. I imagine it's really hard. Like, well, wait, do they have Area Zero Underdepths as a 2-of? Right, because they've got a Terra Pokemon, they can expand their bench and have space for everything. That's what I was kind of trying to figure out, is how do they have space for everything? Iron Thorns EX, or Iron Hands EX too? Or Iron Thorns EX as the ability blocker, but if I remember correctly, it's not too impressive an ability blocker. Like, it worked in certain situations, but I don't think it was like... Yeah, let's take a look. Can you guys read that? Yeah, okay. As long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, with Pokemon with a rule box in play, both yours and your opponent's have no abilities except for future Pokemon. It's so limiting to just be rule box Pokemon, right? That those aren't the abilities that I want to stop. Like, sure, stopping Gardevoir sounds great and all, but like, we've got nothing against Monkey Dory. We've got nothing against Dracloak here. We got nothing to like slow down the big decks. Even like, sure, in Raging Bolt they would slow down the Teal Mask, but they wouldn't slow down the Hoot Hoot, which the Hoot Hoot is going to go grab a Boss's Horrors or something to swap you out, or something along those lines. We can't stop Fan Rotom, like, from using their ability if they're going second. Like, there's just so much here. Yeah. So the current meta is definitely just hitting as big as possible, and it's so lucky that that Dragapult kind of already does that. 200 damage is a heck of a lot, plus 6 out on the field, so you can kind of set up different knockouts and whatnot. It's very efficient, very efficient. Goldango and Raging Bolt are really just like attach energy, or just have energy and do big attacks. Gardevoir has a couple of those as well. When it comes to Screamtail and Drifloon, it's really just about, setting them up to do big attacks, So, and... Okay, so if everything is set up to do big attacks, Dragapult has the advantage where it gets to spread damage counters. That's where I think Rabsca should come in more often, but it just doesn't seem like it comes in that often. I also know a lot of people are talking about Terra Box, which is a lot of stuff here. But it's not really placing, it seems. Most successful players, what did they get? Third at a regional? Okay. Yeah, my friend that was obsessed with the Lugia is also the one obsessed with Terra Box too. So it kind of makes sense if people are swapping from Lugia to Terra Box. I'm trying to think. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper into these, right? So Arven Buddy Buddy, it still seems to be like important, still seems to be big in the format. Even though there is Badoo, which would prevent you from basically using Arven to grab Buddy Buddy, you know, unless they go second, or they go first and you go second, then you can do it. But if you go first, then... So, I think a lot of people are opting to go second nowadays, just because of Badoo. What was that card? There was a card that ended effects on you. I think it was from XY era. It's not delinquent. Man, my brain's kind of all over the place. I am listening to some music on the Nintendo Music app, just because I feel like if I was talking to myself, I would just go crazy. And it's Pokemon music, so I'm still in the mood. Unfair Stamp seems to be making a comeback. I remember for a little while, Unfair Stamp wasn't exactly like the ace spec of choice, but it seems back on top since rotation. They do have Brock Scouting in here, which does make me think, like, when you're under item lock, this can still get you some Pokemon search. I like Brock Scouting. Pokemon Ranger. Was it Pokemon Ranger? Yeah. Just wish there was a bit more counters to what we currently have out there, I guess. It's interesting. So far, we've got 7 votes and on is the current meta healthy, and we got 57% saying no, with 43% saying yes. I do find that interesting. Dragapult is seeing quite a bit of play, it seems, being 28.23%, over a fourth of the meta share, right? Isn't that how you calculate it? What do these numbers... So Dragapult does seem pretty high. Sorry, I'm just doing some math. Well, I'm putting things into a calculator. I'm not actually doing the math. All right, so the top 6 decks represent 74.5% of the meta. And Dragapult is over a fourth of the meta, which I don't think is great. But the decks that are best against it do seem to be pretty high up here. I have a question. I'm just curious. Do they play Rare Candy? How often are they playing Rare Candy? Am I blind? I'm not seeing it? Do they not play Rare Candy anymore? Fascinating. Huh. I do like that the top 3 decks are all evolution based, where Raging Bolt is a basic based, you know? So, I guess Terror Box is also kind of basic based. Archaludon's a stage 1, so that's nice. I wonder if there's something we could do with that. I do know some of you wanted to talk Pauper format. I'm not 100% sure. Like, we don't have anywhere where we can get data, which is, most Dragapult decks don't play Rare Candy. That is interesting to me. I wonder if there's something we can do with that. I wonder. What was it? Aerodactyl does damage and de-evolves just the active Pokemon. That's interesting. I just wish we had a de-evolve that put the Pokemon back in the deck. Do we? That might be fun. And I haven't looked at what Destined Rivals has coming yet. I know pre-releases are going to start soon, so I need to get working on my Jank list. With my surgery next week, I'm also going to be like out for the count for at least a week. So, my shoulder surgery. We'll see what happens. Joltik box, I think that's been on the uptick, hasn't it? Yeah, back with Iron Hands and Miraidon and whatnot. I love this Galvantula seeing play. I love this Galvantula. It's just so awesome. But if I had to play like any meta deck, this would be a meta deck that I would be interested in, you know? $87. Interesting. Oh. Okay, so Terrence, it always goes back to the hand. Yeah. Yeah. What song is this? A little bit jazzy. Huh. More people are voting no. The meta is not healthy. Find that interesting. And I kind of agreed, because one deck has a fourth of the player base, so that's kind of not good. Not good at all. But the counter to it, which was supposed to be Lily's Clefairy, doesn't seem to be doing enough. Seems like Dragapult still has a good matchup. Probably because it one-shots Lily's Clefairy, and it kind of... it's being put in a deck that requires a stage 2, right? So I can see why it's not doing enough to counter Dragapult. Slowpoke, I feel like Dragapult has enough counters to be healthy, though. When it's 1/4 of the player base, I don't think that's healthy. Though that's the issue. Like, sure, there are counters. Are they good enough, though? It seems like they're not. You know, Raging Bolt got first place, right? I didn't catch that final match, so I don't know exactly how it went down. But when they're benching things like Fan Rotom and Hoot Hoot, those are liabilities. Even Noctowl is a liability because of the bench damage that they can fling. So I'm guessing, 100% guessing, that when it came to Dragapult, they weren't necessarily relying on their Noctowl and their Fan Rotom as much. What is going on here? Why won't this disappear? Okay, there's refresh. Alright. So I wish I could play the match and talk about it with y'all, but I feel like that would be something that gets taken down by Pokemon, you know? Raging Bolt has a good matchup against the Dragapult without Dusknoir build. Was that it? The Dragapult wasn't a Dusknoir build? Seems like Dusknoir is fairly popular as a partner. It really just targets down certain decks so that they can... Head Monkey Dory. Frickin' Monkey Dory. Has a good matchup against Dragapult with Dusknoir build. So why with Dusknoir? What does Raging Bolt have to go against decks with Dusknoir? Clinton, howdy. Hey, how you doing? We're just here kind of talking about the meta, seeing what we can figure out and how we could, you know, counter it or something. Right now we're talking about Dragapult EX, how it's dominating the meta because it's 1/4 of the player base according to Limitless, over 1/4. Raging Bolt came in first at Milwaukee, which I was surprised by. I didn't catch that match when it was live streaming, so I didn't know until just now. And Slowpoke is saying that Raging Bolt has a good matchup against Dragapult with Dusknoir build. So I'm wondering why that is. Like, sure, Raging Bolt can have really high HP with the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, but I would imagine Dusknoir is more about targeting the bench alongside the 6 damage counters that Dragapult drops, right? So after 2 attacks, they get 120 damage on to a Teal Mask, and then you pop a Dusknoir, take out a Teal Mask. You know, that's going to slow down their engine, at least that's a hope. Clinton, to answer your question, it depends on what you mean by healthy. The non-games occasionally created by Badu is tough, but there's a large variety of decks getting top placements. Slowpoke got that stat from Limitless. I'm guessing the build without it just has more consistency because the space is saved. Probably. Clinton, I just don't think a deck having over 1/4 of the community playing it is healthy. You know? I know it's not as big as Pokemon, so it doesn't exactly have the best sample size, but I look to Universes, and, you know, their top decks will have maybe 10% of the meta, you know? So, I don't know, like, having 1/4 of the meta just seems kind of bad. Clinton, Bolt playing single prizers, including the Snipe Bolt, shifted the Bolt meta somewhat. The fact that we are talking about about 2 decks, one called Raging Bolt and the other one Dragon Bolt, is gonna be so frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. That is gonna be so frustrating. So the inclusion of... What does Baby Raging Bolt do? 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So I guess that lets them snipe a little bit, say onto like Dreepies and stuff. And then we've got the Slitherwing, which can attack into fighting weak Pokemon such as Pheasantipity, but also through Mimikyu. Um, Mew is just draw. Latias is retreat. Squawkabilly is just set up. And Ditto is just set up. I do think Ditto is going to see more play. That's for sure. It can take out Dracloaks. The baby bolt. Baby raging bolt. Yeah. Makes it harder for your opponent to prep a Dragapult. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if a Raging... Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but what if we just did Raging Bolt as its own deck? The baby Raging Bolt playing with de-evolution. TM de-evolution. Would that be interesting at all? That sounds fun. Should we try to build that right now? That sounds fun to me. But we can keep talking meta. Like, don't let me ging on, you know, a hyperfixation. Change anything. Of course, we'd have Sada. And I want, really tough to stream strong attacks. Yeah, you're only doing 130, so that's not a lot. But we could always throw in some Koraidons. To get that job done, you know? Since you're primarily focusing on Raging Bolt to snipe where you can, Koraidon could be the thing you come in for the big swings, right? Let's go to fighting, and we'll do, what, 6? 6 sound good. Maybe that's a little low, though. You could do a Munkidori Frostlass build. Munkidori Frostlass is a whole nother issue. I don't see Munkidori as being exactly that healthy for the format. Last night, when it came to the aceless format, it just seemed like Munkidori dominated to the point where it just wasn't that much fun. Like, I was, of course, playing a bad matchup into Munkidori, but it just seemed like it was kind of such a frustrating matchup. Yeah. Need Zebra, Munkidori is poopy. There you go. There you go. Do you really need much more than that? Slowpoke Uxie can spread to everything and then de-evolution the whole board at once and doesn't get countered by Terra Mechanic. Well, Raging Bolt doesn't get... Wait. Countered by Terra... Oh, I gotcha. I love the monkey, but I know it can be tough to deal with. Yeah, it's... When you aren't one-shotting things, Munkidori becomes such an abusive force, in my opinion. Which had me also thinking, well, if we made, like... I played against, last night, you know, in random, the one match I won, I played my Jump Left deck into a Alcremie deck, and it didn't really seem like the player. It seemed like a newer player, but it made me think, like, what if we just did Munkidori Alcremie, and so we're just, like, throwing damage and healing damage, and we just sit behind a tank, right? Thought that could be fun. But it's weak to Metal, and Goldango's second best deck in format, so how good is that? Neat Zebra, your message was redacted. Was it by you, or can I, like, do something to read it? No? Okay. Slowpoke, have you seen the Blissey Monkey deck? I saw that pre-rotation. Neat Zebra. I'm also very much an off-meta player, lol, so something is too popular, I avoid it. Yes, thank you. That's kind of my thing. Like, I'm constantly looking at newer cards, and I'm constantly looking at the cards that people aren't looking at, which gets me into some sticky situations recently. Since rotation, I've really felt disconnected from this meta, which is why this stream I wanted to more focus on meta stuff and figure it out, right? So right now, it seems like the meta is pretty set on these evolution Pokemon, which means de-evolution now comes more in handy. Goldango, they have really weak basics. I mean, a 70 HP Gimme Ghoul is not that much. Gardevoir, they've got so many different Pokemon that they're throwing about, but Gardevoir does seem like the focus. So it seems like you'd be able to get rid of Gardevoir, which gets rid of their energy acceleration, which slows the deck down quite often. Raging Bolt is not an evolution deck. Archaludon is. Terrabox is not. So, yeah. Clinton, are you going to play GLC when it drops? In Trainer Trials, I have a hard time right now wanting to play Trainer Trials because there's no reason to. Like, the only reason to play Trainer Trials is that you want to play Trainer Trials, which is great and fine, but if I could get some sort of reward playing, I would be more likely to. The only reason I stick with ranked practically all the time is because it's the only place where I get rewarded for playing in it. It's the only place giving me a reason to play in it. Even Pauper, I'm not making as many Pauper decks because I'm not feeling rewarded playing them. Because obviously I'm going to lose if I'm playing against, matchmaking decks and whatnot. So, I don't know, just I'm in a rough spot with it, and I really think they need to add like some sort of encouragement to Trainer Trials specifically. Standard, I get people won't want to mess with their rank if they want to try out a new deck. And Expanded, that's the only place to play Expanded, right? There are diehard people that love Expanded, so that's where they're going to be. But Trainer Trials, since they're so frequently being changed out, it's hard to get invested. I feel like after 2 weeks, I'm finally getting like feedback for what I'm playing, right? So, yeah. Sorry, that was a long tirade about why Trainer Trials is good on paper, but it's just not good enough to get people playing it. Yeah, and part of it is the rotating formats. When it comes to the Pauper format, whenever they do that, I'll be in, right? But, yeah. Clinton, I'm so hyped for it, I don't know if I'll get sleep. Hey, if you're into it, that's awesome. I've never played GLC. I've been interested, but since you can't play it digitally, you have to play it with physical cards. That limits it, and then GLC also leads to spikes in prices, so it's becoming exclusionary, which is difficult, and yeah. Slowpoke, you're gonna love to hear this. Limitless says that Okidogi Jr. has a good matchup into Dragapult. I could see that. 2 shots it, and you only give up 1 prize, so you're at least meeting it there, and they have to do some finagling to get the 1-shots, right? They need to stack damage counters when you're on the bench, and if you're playing Bravery Charm, that adds 50 more damage that they got stack on you, so it becomes a really decent matchup there. I haven't tried Okidogi since rotation, so I don't know. Clinton, but money is overrated. Is that about me not being rewarded for playing? I mean, it's just the way that video games have conditioned me to the point where, like, I need some sort of reward when I'm playing. And playing for the story isn't enough for me in a lot of video games. I need something. Either the gameplay needs to be phenomenal that gets me hooked, or I need some sort of reward that will keep me playing. I know that's the whole live service, get them addicted thing, and I've got to fight against that urge at every turn. But yeah, it's just I don't know what else to say, really. Really, I don't know what else to say. All right. Let's see. I got a lot more stuff. Neat Zebra. I've been playing Trainer Trials since it started, and I've loved it. That's awesome. Clinton, I've been playing it nonstop. That's great. You guys playing Trainer Trials is great. I love that. I just need some sort of feedback loop, and with how short we are in the Trainer Trials formats, it's hard to get that feedback loop. You know. I feel like I would have been more prepared for Monkey Dory if I A, had played more Trainer Trials, but B, I had that time to really dig into it. Need Zebra, the Monkey Dories in Trainer Trials are really annoying though. Yep. Clinton, I'm a people. Okay. Need Zebra, I'm trying to play if trying to play Pauper. Yeah, if you're trying to play Pauper into the aceless format, it's going to be a struggle because of those Monkey Dories. But it has been one of the better places to try Pauper for a while here. So when it actually has the Pauper format, we'll see how that goes. But if I remember correctly, that'll just be for 1 week. It's interesting. We're 10 votes in, and currently it's 50-50 on whether or not we are currently in a healthy meta. New deck 7? What the heck? I just went through and it's all the other formats, I swear. So, let's see. We have talked about the meta a lot. And currently, from what I'm seeing, let me switch back to the right screen. It's a one-man show here. There we go. So here we're able to see. What if I stretch this out? That way you guys don't have to see the ads. Does it make it bigger at all? No? That's too bad. I'm sorry. So we've talked a lot about the meta. The meta seems very focused right now, I think is the term I want to use. Where we've got Dragapult as the best because it's just so consistently good. We got Goldango as second best. Goldango seems to be capitalizing off of the fact that it can one-shot Dragapult and it can counter some of those fairy Pokemon and some of those ice Pokemon that you might see. Mostly the fairy being in Gardevoir. Seeing the fact that they can one-shot a Lily's Clefairy by discarding 2 energy is super good. And the fact that, like, Badoo is so prominent, so that's 1 energy they gotta discard, which is so easy for Goldango, right? It's really Raging Bolt that seems to be the odd one out here, in my opinion. Terra Box is good because it's trying to counter everything, but it's not doing enough, apparently, you know? I mean, it's seeing 33rd, 47th, 78th, you know, a second at in seniors, second in seniors at Milwaukee. So 4 Hoot Hoot. Why wouldn't 80 HP one? I don't know. 4 knocked out with your Terra Pokemon. Fan Rotom to get your Hoot Hoots and your Noctowls. Terapagos, Teal Mask, Mew, Latias, Lily's Clefairy, Ditto, Pikachu, Blood Moon or Saluna, Fezanivity. Yeah, I like this style of deck. It's a lot of fun, the rainbowy decks. But it can be difficult to get those working correctly, so interesting. Devin. Interesting. Oh, I can't see chat. Okay, let's see. Clinton, I wrote a whole essay on Badoo, and I'm debating on whether to post it somewhere. Let me know. I'll definitely check it out. It's a stage 1, which is really good against Badoo. Is that Goldingo that you're saying is a stage 1? Because it's got its own draw engine, and it just needs to discard a single energy to get rid of it. Dragapult can target Badoo from when Badoo's sitting on the bench, right? So I really miss the whole Collapse Stadium thing, where it's like, yeah, you could retreat that Badoo and then play Collapse Stadium and get rid of it, so it wouldn't be knocked out and wouldn't be an easy one prizer. Yeah, I miss that. Playing Turo to do that just seems like a big waste. Hugal, I really enjoy Trainer Trials. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Clinton, and combined with Pult, it's like a dual threat. Your wife has spoken. Fire. We will riot until you enjoy Trainer Trials. I'm not saying I don't enjoy Trainer Trials. I just struggle with, like, wanting to play it when I still have when I still have battle pass stuff to work towards, and like I want my rank rewards, you know? Like, sure, you know, this isn't too big, that's okay, but like when you get up higher, you know, we're talking like a deck box, we're talking this fancy swine up, you know, like, yeah. And then even higher to Ultra, you get this full art Mamoswine. I've almost got 4 of them in the digital thing. And Master, I've never made it to Master League, mostly because I don't try that hard. But like, I have rewards to work towards. If every section had rewards, honestly, give me, I don't know, 100 trainer credits per game I play, or make it to where I gotta play 5 and I get 500, or I gotta play 5 and I get 1,000. That gives me something to work towards. But the fact that it also switches, yeah, the format's gonna change in 17 hours. How much useful information can I gain in 17 hours for this to be something important to play in? And they've really, oh my gosh, I really hate how they've done the deck stuff with all these different formats. Like, you know, I've got new deck 6 here. Delete that. New deck. Do I have that anywhere? So 7, that's what I'm currently working on. 4... That's just a copy of my Pauper deck, because my Pauper deck wasn't showing up in my... Oh my gosh, it's my Trainer Trial selected deck. So let me... See, I really hate this. I really hate this. I'm sorry. This is so frustrating to deal with. I have recents selected, but it's not showing my recents. It's showing a bunch of old decks. Oh my gosh, I am getting so frustrated with Trainer Trials. Yeah, can't set those. Favorites. What favorites do I have selected? Big Do. I'll select that for my Trainer Trials there. Now I can go in here. Go new deck. Wait, this is... Right, Dragapult. I'm just going to delete it for now. This is Pauper, but for a different format. And this is what I'm currently working on. Okay. Why did it jump to 7? I have no idea. I need to calm down. I've got water. Drink some water. Clinton, I kind of feel bad now. I've built way too many decks. I'm currently in the 400s. But I need to name my decks more. Show valid only check mark can show what you have, anywho. In trainer trials, I go here. Oh, show valid only. There we go. Okay, I guess that works. I don't know. See, but I also need it to not... So I need show valid only not clicked, because if I'm working on a deck, I need to be able to find that deck, you know? I don't know. I don't know. It gets confusing and difficult. Let's see. I know some people here wanted to talk about Pauper format meta. So the most recent big deck in the Pauper format that I have seen is Kamala, made by Richard, which is such a deck, you know? Kamala, to the point where I started seeing people throwing in therapeutic energy into Control Players Unite Pauper decks to try to combat this type of stuff. So that's interesting. Hops Corviknight is pretty good too. Yeah. I like Hops Corviknight. I really do. I think, you know, people are putting a lot into Hops Zacian, which I understand why, but I really like Hops Corviknight too. Hops Corviknight can be good in Pauper. I think it's definitely good in Pauper, but it's one of those situations where Hops Choice Band removes the need for that colorless energy, which therapeutic or mist energy would normally cover. Meaning it's very susceptible to status effects, right? Status effects seem to be king in Pauper currently. Asleep, confusion, paralyze, even poison seems to be important. Burn is never important. Sorry. Sorry to all the burn lovers out there. Mag Mortar. Mag Mortar is, of course, rare, so you can't really make burn a thing. Hops Zacian is such a fun card. The upcoming Team Rocket Bomb can give even more spread turn 1. Sick burn, yo. Yeah, I haven't even looked at Destined Rivals, and it's coming so soon. I need to start looking at it. What do people think the meta is going to look like after Destined Rivals? Because we should really start thinking about that. Let's see. Justin, Hazel. What set is this going to be? So 9, 10? Yes, 10. Boom. Wow. That's a lot of stuff. Next time I go live, I might make it about the black and white sets that are coming out. I personally am not a fan of dual sets like that, I think. I think it's just a way to try to get people to spend more money. So, we'll see. Marnie's Grimmsnarl looks like a new top deck. And the best part, it makes Frostlass Monkey Dory meta. So that's going to be in dark type, right? Marnie's Mortar Grimmsnarl EX. Punk Up. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 basic darkness energy and attach them to your Marnie's Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. For 2 dark energy, 180. This attack also does 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And then Monkey Dory can just throw that 30 right back, and Frostlass can stick on damage because Morgrim has an ability. So, yeah, I can see it being meta. Not sure if it's in the set though. According to Justin Basil, it's going to be in the set. I did hear that. I thought Marnie's stuff and Steven's stuff were going to be only available in the decks that they've released for them, not in the set. But Justin Basil seems to think they're in the set, so it has good Gardevoir and Pulp matchups. Does it have a good Pulp matchup? I guess that'll depend on Impotent and... Impotent with 70 HP, okay, that's not bad. And then Morgrem with 100 HP, okay. They were in Japan, but they're in our English set. Okay. And then Grass Weakness. Yo, Grass Pokemon about to pop off. No, sorry. Sorry, I can't even fake it for that long. I wish. I so wish. I so wish. Oh, it's a rare. Your Cynthia's Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active. Okay. Okay, it's just like one better than Lilligant, but specifically only Cynthia's Pokemon, so. Hey, Rotom, nice! 30 damage, this attack does 30 damage for each Pokemon tool card attached to all of your Pokemon. That means it maxes out at 180 without Area 0 Underdepths. Terrence, wait till he sees the new Rotoms. Are there new Rotoms? Like all the Rotoms? I love Rotom. Alright. We got Rotom, which we just went over. Heat Rotom. What does Heat Rotom do? Heat Rotom. Singe and then 30 times for each Pokemon tool attached to all your Pokemon. So do they all have the same attack? Just the 30 times the Pokemon tools? Terrence, you got me excited about this. Richard sent Happy Poop for 10 jewels. Cool? What does that mean? You keep sending me jewels. I have no idea what that means. But yo, if it's fun, then it's fun. Hey, we're getting a single prize masked Ogerpons, which are interesting. Very interesting. Richard, hello. How are you? Slowpoke treasure. And then Clinton says hi to people. Misty's Psyduck. No Misty's Golduck? What the heck? Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard the bomb card of your deck. If you do, discard all the cards attached to this Pokemon and put it on top of your deck. Wait, what? Why? What? That seems weird. I can get maxed out at 720. What do you mean? Are you talking about the Rotoms? If you are able to play like Reveroom that's able to hold 4 tools, then you can really stack on the damage. But like, I just don't see that as realistic. But if every Rotom, if we at least have a Rotom of every type, so we got Wash Rotom. So we can hit Grass Weakness, we can hit Fire Weakness, we can hit Water Weakness. Alright, alright. Regular Rotom was down here. Okay, okay, we can hit weaknesses. I'm liking the Rotoms. Legitimately liking the Rotoms. Let's see, we got... Oh, that's just a illustration rare. Are those all the Rotoms we have? Just a Mo, a Heat, a Wash, and a Electric? That's kind of whatever. Astonish, choose a random card from shuffle the deck. Richard, you're playing in a local right now. Best of luck. Hope you win it all. Misty's Gyarados is why. Why is Misty's Gyarados? Why? Misty's Gyarados. Splashing Panic, 70 times damage. Discard the top 7 cards of your deck. This attack does 70 damage for 70 damage times an amount of Misty's Pokemon you discarded in this way. So, okay, so the idea is that you can get Misty's Psyduck on top of your deck using its ability. When you just run Academy at night, you know, like, instead of playing down Misty Psyduck, discarding the last card of your deck, then putting this Pokemon on top. Like, I guess Academy at Night won Misty's Pokemon, then you put, like, Psyduck down and get that. You can search out Psyduck with Buddy Buddy and then use its abilities. But then once you do, you gotta, like, recover them, and that'll be the tough thing. But, you know, more power to you if you're able to do that. Okay, and then Misty Starmie can do... This wasn't supposed to be a Destined Rivals stream, but I'm fine with it if you all are. Clinton, what sounds like fun? And Terrence says, ready 151 Kabootops, boom. Apply weakness for your opponent's active Pokemon as 4 times instead. With Rotom, you don't even need to do that, though. Because you can get up to 180, fairly easy. Doubled for weakness. Like, the only thing that they could really be playing is Hero's Cape to not be knocked out, you know? And, if I remember correctly, there's a new item that can shuffle in 5 Pokemon. Is there? Let's go back. Let's go to items here. Items start down here. Arvin's Sandwich, Cynthia's Power Weight, Amici's Hypa, MC's. Who the heck is this? Oh, okay. Like an MC, like... Yeah. Energy Recycler's back! Heck yes! Oh my gosh, so excited. So many decks, I'm like, I need Energy Recycler to make this work. A new Judge. Hey, he looks kind of cool. Sacred Ash. Sacred Ash. Shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile to your deck. Hugal, is Meowth gonna get a special card? Probably. So there's Team Rocket's Meowth, illustration rare. Oh. Okay, just take me to this page. There it is. Oh, I want that. I want that. That is so cute. Hugal, we need to get that. A new Eradicate, too. And I love it. Oh my gosh, I want that as well. And I want that Rotom. Misty Psyduck is going to go for some money. Ooh, that's cool. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Clinton, that's kind of nuts. So many decks can go crazy with Sacred Ash. I like Iron Hand's future Pokemon deck. Or, so many decks can go crazy with Sacred Ash, like the Iron Hand's future Pokemon. Did I misread Sacred Ash? Wait, what just happened? Cool, I'm playing D&D tomorrow. Oh, the baby one! I forgot about that one. Iron Hands. The baby one... No, I think you're thinking of Iron Thorns. With Destructo Press, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. This attack does 70 for each future card you find there. Then discard those future cards and shuffle the other cards back into your deck. I love it. Love it. I should do this more often. Got Pokemon music playing while I'm talking to y'all. It's getting me hype. I don't listen to music very often, but yesterday we talked about that, and I was like, I should try this, Since I can't hear the computer sounds unless I put my headphones on. Yeah. Interesting. Well, this set just went from okay to heck yes. Oh man, that Rotom deck is probably going to be able to be a Pauper deck as well, isn't it? I don't know why I'm scrolling. I could just click back and click... There we go. Common. Beautiful. Dondozo EX. Oh no. A basic with 260 HP? Wow. Any old school jams? Right now I'm just having it play Legends Arceus music. Because it's on the Nintendo Music app that I'm listening to stuff. And honestly, I'm not that big of a fan of this app. It's really difficult to figure out, what's here and what games music there is and whatnot. And it doesn't look like there's any old school Pokemon stuff. I bet a certain person is hyped about that Dondozo. I think a lot of people are. 260 HP basic Pokemon. Hello wall decks. Wall heal decks. Ooh, that Kree Titan looks awesome. Ability, whenever your opponent plays an item or support card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. Anti-gusting? 4 energy. 140 damage. You may discard a stadium in play. If you do, you do 140 more damage? Good luck paying the cost, but if you can, that is some serious stuff. Although Goldango just, massacres you. Maybe have the new Whale Lord. The one from the more recent set, not the one coming soon. Have that Whale Lord as an alternate attacker, so you can do Kree Titan EX, but if they're playing Goldango, you can switch into Whale Lord, still do decent damage with it. Anti-gusting 280 seems good. Plus maximum belt, you're doing 330, and you're knocking out Charizard EX, Dragapult EX. You're knocking out everything. Just saying. Just saying. Wash Rotom. Wash Tom is common. They better not, like, make him... Ooh, Hunto. It's got an ability. Whenever one of your water Pokemon is knocked down by damage from its attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may put all basic water energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand instead of the discard pile. Oh, I was so close. I thought I was going to let you attach it to other Pokemon, but nope. Wait, Creetitan, how much? 4 retreat cost. That means Heavy Baton's active for Creetitan. Alright, alright. Creetitan's just looking so good, you know? Cynthia's Melodic, 2 energy, 60. This attack does 30 to 2 of your opponent's benched Pokemon. That seems fun. That could go pretty hard in Pauper, honestly. Prevent damage from effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. Heck yes. Misty's Magikarp totally ignores Dragapult. So good. Okay. Okay, Rotoms are definitely making the jank list. I'm sorry, everyone. I love Rotoms. I think they are so cool. Diary check. Yeah, that's common as well. So all we got left is Motom. Come on, Motom. Whoa, what was that? Hold on, hold on. Oh, Arbolia EX. Okay. Oh, and we're getting an Rellor. Rapska, upside down draw. Draw 3 cards from the bottom of your deck. Psychic, 20 plus damage. This deck does 90 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon? Ooh. Neat. Well, Rotoms are awesome. Heck yeah. Misty's Gyarados is the main attacker for Misty. A single prizer. Heck yeah. Ethan's Typhlosion is going to be dangerous. I will get to that in a second. I'm almost to Motom. There he is. Common. Good. Shaman. Prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon without a rule box. Oh, that's how it's going to be different. Without a rule box. Okay. I like that. I think that is very well balanced. Except for the 80 HP, I think that is very well balanced. That could have been 70 HP, and I still would have said, like, I think that would still be balanced. Honestly, the 80 HP might just be a little too high. Buddy not able to get it, and it doesn't work on rule box Pokemon, which most rule box Pokemon nowadays are Terra, so it's not going to work on Terra Pokemon anyways. Yeah. You said Ethan's Typhlosion. For a single energy, Buddy Blast. I love it when there's a buddy involved. 40 plus damage. This attack does 60 more damage for each Ethan's adventure card in your discard pile. I like that it's 40 plus, because this is basically Serena's Blaziken. It was just Blaziken, but they had art with Serena, and the attack was 60 for each Serena card in the discard. So it's basically that plus 40 damage, which really rounds that out to be decent. And that means you're hitting at most 4 times 6 is 240, plus 40, so that's 280. 280 seems to be like the number they like to hit nowadays, you know? Not enough to KO stage 2, enough to KO stage 1 for the most part. You know, and like Maximum Belt does fix that, so. Slow King is now nerfed. Ethan's Quilava searches them out. Okay. And then Shaman can protect that Quilava while it's on the bench. And the more Quilava you get out, the more you're able to search for Ethan's adventure. And it puts into your hand. What does Ethan's adventure do? There it is. I know the alphabet. I found it, no problem. Search a deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Okay, so you'll want... I mean, it's not a bad card, but you'll definitely want to, like, play discardable cards. So, like, Ultra Ball to discard Ethan's adventure. Ugh. Sorry, I ate, like, just before I came out here, and that was a mistake. $70 plus HP? Oh, jeez. I like the Arvin Sandwich, healing 100. I like that. Draw 4, but only if your opponent is halfway to winning. MC's hype up is just so bad. So it's very consistent. Yeah. No, Ethan's going to be interesting. Is Ethan going to make an appearance in Pauper is what I'm thinking right now. So if we gotta go to Ethan Slugma, what? And Macargo, we've got a rare, so nope. If this Pokemon has no energy attached, it has no retreat cost. Lava Burst, discard up to 5 fire energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 70 for each card you discard in this way. 5 times 7, that's going to be 350 damage possible. But the attack requires at least 3, which means you gotta find some way to accelerate the energy. But still, not Pauper. Is it just those? Oh, we got Ethan's Ho-Oh, but that's an EX, so no. Ethan's Pichu. Let's go check that out. Ethan's Pichu. Sparking draws 30 damage and you draw a card. I like that. That is such a... I want to get rid of Badoo super badly one of card. Like, I like that a lot. Looks like we got 14 votes in so far, and for the question, is the current meta healthy? We have 64% saying yes. I feel like the 36% of players that have voted are not Dragapult players. Anti-Badoo. Yeah, love it. It's such an anti-Badoo card. Ethan Sudowoodo. Come on. It's a common. Fighting energy, impound, 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. But defending Pokemon can't retreat. 2 colorless. Mimicry. Flip a coin. If heads, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. Okay, when are we getting double colorless reprint? That's not happening in this set, right? Because that would just be crazy. Bunch of Team Rocket stuff, TM Machine, Team Rocket Energy. Team Rocket Energy is the only special energy, so we gotta wait till black and white sets to get double colorless, right? Then Ethan Sudowoodo will see play. Because that's just crazy. I guess you can just crispin it, you know? Maybe I'll throw it in on the Rotom deck, you know? Just give me a nice fighting type attacker for 2 colorless. Nah, I haven't seen it in any upcoming sets either. Well, you know, like, it's coming eventually. I think I'm gonna have to judge Team Rocket by itself from the other trainers Pokemon. I think that's the only fair way to do the Jank list. Because just look at this. Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Team Rocket, Team Rocket. Like, it's just... That's 128. From 112 to 128, they're all Team Rocket's Pokemon. It's just so many. Hopefully, it's coming. It's gotta be. It's gotta be, right? Do they have a list for the black and white stuff? Only Mega Gardevoir, Mega Lucario Premium. Wait. I don't know. It's nuts how many cards they got. The black and white set? Or Team Rocket? Team Rocket's got a lot. Well, this turned into a Destined Rivals stream. So sorry to everyone that was only here for the meta-analysis. 1 point return, 70 damage. If any of your Ethan's Pokemon were knocked out. This does 100 more, so 170. Why does what next say Journey Together set? Let's see, upcoming releases. Wait. Scarlet Violet 11. Is that not black and white? Is black and white our special set? $10.5, yeah. They have it as our special set this year. Interesting. So there's 86 cards before secret rares and 86 cards before secret rares. Interesting. New Shroomish and Breloom. Is a Breloom decent? Damage rush, 30 plus damage. Flip a coin until you get tails. This deck does 50 more damage for each heads. 3 energy, Mega Drain, 90, heal 30. No! Halo Wars has some of the creepiest ads. Halo Wars is an... Or Hero Wars, sorry. Halo Wars is an awesome game. Hero Wars... Yeah, I think that was on... Yeah, they do some weird stuff with their ads. I prefer not to talk about it. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX. 120 damage. This attack isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. Meh. 150 HP, so it barely survives a Teal Mask. Hydro Breath. Discard 6 basic grass energy from your hand in order to knock out one of your opponent's active Pokemon. If you can't discard 6 grass energy in this way, this attack does nothing. Hold up. That's interesting. There's a Sky Uppercut and a Miss from Breloom. Wait, that's a Sky Uppercut and a Miss from Breloom. Ah, yeah. No, I get it now. I had to reread it. I'm blah. I do feel like I'm reaching that point where I bring this to a close soon, but this is all very interesting. And I need to be doing this. Are there Teal Mass, like all the Teal Mass, or all the Ogre Pawns? Or is only some? Teal Mask, Cornerstone, Hearth Flame, and Wellspring Mask. Yeah, they got all 4. Nice. Does Ogre's Mask card work with those? Ogre's Mask. Choose a Pokemon EX from your discard pile that has Ogerpon in the name. Switch it with one of your Pokemon EX. Nope, it does not. Dang. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Clinton, it does not. Ogre's Mask only works with Pokemon EX, sadly. Oh, wait, I'm tripping. You said it, not me. Yeah, it would have been fun if it did. Steven's Claydol. Looks cool. Area Light, 20 damage, now confused. 3 energy, 220. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. That's alright. Steven's Carbink. Stone Palace. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, each of your Steven's Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Oh, it doesn't stack, though. But, you know, maybe that will be seeing play in Pauper. Just a thought. It's a decent one of in any Stevens deck, you know? New Annihilate. If this Pokemon has 2 or more damage counters on it, its attacks attacks used by this Pokemon do 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. 2 fighting energy, impact blow, 160 plus 120, 280. What do I keep saying? During your next turn, this Pokemon can't use impact blow. That's too bad. But I like it. I like it. Team Rocket's Mimikyu is a Pult counter. Choose an attack when your opponent's active Terra Pokemon and uses the effect of this attack. Okay, so, yeah, you just need Lily's Clefairy. That's a 1-hit KO. Plus you're putting the 6 damage counters down. And it's a single prizer, which is just all ridiculous. Nice. I like it. Team Rocket's getting their own double energy, but no one else. Team Rocket energy, right? This can only be attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If this card is attached to anything other than a Team Rocket's Pokemon, discard this card. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides 2 in any combination of Psychic and Darkness energies. Woo! Nice. Alright, let's get back to those illustration rares. Check out all the fancy art that's coming. Team Rocket's got Crobat, Mewtwo, and Persian. Very nice. I wonder what Crobat EX does. 2 energy, 120 damage? Well, that's disappointing. But maybe the effect is alright. Full arts. Special illustration rare Pokemon. Like that Nidoking. Crustle is doing the gritty. Yeah, I love that Crustle. Special illustrations, Quarters, not bad. She almost looks like Jessie. Then we got the gold cards. Is that Jamming Tower? Is that a gold jamming tower? And then for some reason, Lavincia. And this was cut. Is this going to be... This isn't like a promo, right? For the ETB promo? It's not, right? No, it is. Okay. Yes, I'm a human. Jeez. Yeah, you can see it right there. Nice. I haven't played Gold and Silver in such a long time. Arvin's Toad's cool and cruel. What do they do? Arvin's Toad's cruel. Let's see. Pull. Switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. 3 energy, reckless charge, 120 damage. This Pokemon. Terrible. Cool. I think I did that, or I've seen that before. Anyways, I think I'm going to bring this stream to an end. I think we got a better understanding of the current meta and how we may go about countering it. And then a look into the future meta. Sadly, I don't have much to say about the Pauper meta. It seems to be changing very quickly. But I do have a Pauper tournament this Saturday in the Discord. If you're interested in it, be sure to join the Discord. Link in the description. Arvin is healing focused archetype. Cool. So yeah, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, rest of your day, and hopefully I will see each and every one of you in the Pauper tournament this Saturday in the Discord. Be there. And of course, until next time, keep playing Jank.